Rolling.
Look at the camera when I say or look at Shelley.
You can look at.
The Simpsons is in March. Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is going really well. Like, what do I look like Marge from The Simpsons? I have like fern dandruff.
Hi, welcome to Dream Career's first edition of Between Two Ferns. I'm Brittany Lewis, and today our guests are the two program directors for the New York programs, Shelley Thomas and Elina Leclaire. So the first question I'm going to ask them is, if you could give one piece of advice for success at an internship, what would it be?
Ooh, I'll take that one and go first. As an internship coordinator, some of you guys may have heard me mention this to you in the past, but I think that it's so important to go into your internship wanting to be that person that if you're not there, they're like, oh crap, where is that person? Or the moment that they know your internship's over, they start to feel like, what are we going to do without you? And the way that you can have your manager feel that way about you, have your other coworkers feel that way about you, is to see how can you make yourself invaluable? How can you make yourself be that person where they really only trust you with certain projects? And sometimes you can do that by just coming in early, staying late, offering to do certain tasks that maybe no one really wants to do, or maybe you're about to go out for lunch and you ask them if they want to go out to lunch with you, or you look busy, can I go get you some lunch? And just being that person who, it's not a competition between you and the other interns, but you want to be that person that they like having you around, because as we've heard from previous speakers in the past, friends hire friends, so you want to make sure you have that lasting impression. You want to be that person that they want to have you around, but also you want to give, show them that your work ethic is something that they can't really live without.
For me, I would say my biggest piece of advice would be to really go in understanding what the pain points, what the frustrations are of your managers and the people on their team. And even if it's as simple as organizing or putting together a calendar, if that is your skill set, if you can identify what the pain points are and you can go in there and really fill that void and that pain and make their pain, your greatest pleasure, that's going to add a lot of value because you're addressing a need that is ultimately a pain of the manager.
Great, so the next one's for Elina. So what do you think the importance of networking is?
Wow, I mean, we all heard the very trite phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think the importance of networking is really to build relationships and add value. So to go about it with the intention of being there to serve and really connect with people, really figure out what it is they're doing and why they're doing it, why it's important to them. That's really where the real connection is going to form, where you can really see into the eyes and the hearts of the people that you're connecting with and show that you genuinely care to add value to their lives because you're interested and you can help. So even if it's as something as simple as offering a tip or saying that, sharing a commonality, that's a connection that's being made. That's what networking is to me, connecting with people on a human level.
Great, so I'll throw out this next question, whoever wants to answer it. What if you realize your industry's not for you?
I think that if you're interning and then you have that moment of this industry is not for me, that is awesome, because then you did not waste your entire life in an industry that you completely hate. And I think that a lot of students, they spend a lot of time trying to figure out their major, trying to figure out what it is that they want to do, and then having an internship is the perfect opportunity to really test drive that career, because you can really only learn so much in the classroom, right? So you can really only learn so much the theory of what an industry is, but then actually experiencing it for yourself. And sometimes the idea of an industry sounds great, the idea of television production can sound great, the idea of marketing can sound great, but then when you actually physically do it, you might have those moments of, this isn't what I thought it was, and maybe this isn't what I want to spend the rest of my life doing, and that's okay. That's completely okay to have those feelings. But what I think is important is taking everything that you've learned, because those moments are learning opportunities, right? Just because maybe you feel like you failed, I don't even like to say that you failed, you just had a moment to learn, that's an opportunity. Take those strengths that you've figured out, those strengths that you've learned that you have, and see where else you can utilize those. Because from my own personal experience, I went into television production, I worked in TV for 5 years, And it didn't even happen to me right away. It didn't even happen in an internship. In my internship, I realized this is what I want to do. And then 5 years down the line throughout my journey, I realized this actually isn't what I want anymore. My passions have changed, my interests have changed. And I think that that's okay. So I think that if you realize this isn't for you, awesome. But definitely take it as that opportunity to learn from what you've experienced and see where else you can run with it, because your skills are transferable.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Great. Okay, so the next question's for you, Elina. So how do you stand out from all the other interns in the workplace?
I think the one thing that I would, there are a few things, and for number one, it's like have a genuine interest. Be curious and be eager to learn, and that comes through engagement. It comes through showing that you are showing up. That means that you're looking the part and that you are showing up each day, acknowledging that you're here and that you're ready to learn. And that comes with first a simple hello, a simple how are you, making that connection. And then the second thing is to really continue to show how you're interested in seeing how what you're doing fits into the big picture. That makes you no longer an intern. It makes you like part of the bigger picture and part of like, you know, the moving parts. And so when you can demonstrate to your employer that you care more, and in addition to what, you know, just knocking out what you have to do as part of your internship, that you care to also learn and that you want to learn from how an employer got to where they were to where they're at now, that's connecting the dots, and that comes through building relationships, having a meeting with your manager, and expressing that you really care to know about the big picture and how you fit into it.
Great. So Shelley, you were saying that before you changed your career. So when looking for a career, what are the most important things you think that people should look for?
First, what do you enjoy doing? What gets you excited about getting up each morning? Because I grew up seeing my parents wake up each morning to go to a job because they just wanted to support our family. They didn't believe in this whole, like, we should follow our dreams. That wasn't their point. They're like, we need to give you food, right? I need to feed my family. And I had that moment of, I don't want to just wake up every day and go through the motions. I want to do something that I was really passionate about. So I think really identifying those things that make you happy, that get you excited to get up each morning, is really important. And then also, sometimes things that you're really good at, you really hate doing, right? So you want to make sure that when you start identifying your strengths, don't just do something because you're good at it. Don't just go into finance because you think that it's something that is a strength of yours. Find out what strengths you have that you also enjoy doing, and then you're able to start putting together the pieces and see what you want to do. And then lastly, do internships so you can really test drive that career and see what you want to do. Just because you have one internship in TV production and maybe think like, okay, I want to try something in marketing, you can do that. You can try it out. It doesn't make it look like you're, you know, all over the place, because you have a lot of skills that are going to be very transferable depending on what you're learning. And I think it's a really good idea to test drive those careers now while you're still in college than graduating and then kind of feeling stuck in a career and not really knowing what to do. So really take that time to think about what you're really good at and what you really enjoy doing.
Sure, and going off of that point, for both of you, how do you find that balance between doing something you love, following your dream and passions, and paying off the student bills, student loans, paying for food, all that stuff? So how do you find that balance?
Well, I think that you guys, being the age that you're in, have more opportunity now to take the risk in pursuing your passions and pursuing your dreams. So first, it's the practical and knowing that, yes, you have to really, you have loans to pay off, and so it's a matter of planning to and accepting that sometimes you might need to take an in the meantime opportunity while also pursuing your passions and your dreams on the side. And so that in the meantime opportunity might help you pay the bills, and knowing that you're paying the bills, for me, is very important, and that's what fuels my creativity and what fuels my ability to pursue my passions. Not everybody operates that way. Some people love taking on that level of risk and taking that leap of faith and jumping in hopes and faith that it will all work out. And so if you are that person, you need to accept that you're that way. But if you're one that needs to be more conservative and risk averse, and you have to ensure that you're paying off your loans, then you need to, of course, have a strategy in place where you're accepting that what you're doing might be an in the meantime opportunity, but every day you're taking your golden hour to build out, take action that will compound into you achieving your dreams and your end goal.
Great, and just to wrap it up, so if both of you could give us the biggest piece of advice you would give to people just graduating college, maybe have a few years left, but they're starting their career search, just biggest piece of advice.
Gosh, there's so many. But I would have to say, when times get hard, just keep going. Because the reality is that you're going to go through interviews and people won't hire you. But don't let that get you down. As long as you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you as well. And surround yourself with people who also believe in you. If you have maybe a friend who is kind of holding you back and they're just like, oh, you want to do what? That's never going to happen. Don't be around those people. Be around people who genuinely believe in you and are there to rise you up. And you're going to be successful as long as you keep your head up high and your heart's really in it.
I think everybody needs to have their own mantra. Mine is find a way. So if you have that mentality of finding a way, your goal is in sight, and if there's anything that could potentially divert you, that find a way mantra is gonna pull me forward. I'm not gonna have an opportunity to doubt it. My mind is gonna tell me, find a way, keep going, find a way. And whether it's tomorrow or the next day or 3 years from now in achieving my goals and my success, I know that my mantra is find a way, and I'm gonna get there.
Well, great. Thank you for the invaluable advice on career, internships, and everything in between. So once again, this is the Dream Careers first edition of Between Two Ferns. I'm Brady Lewis, and thank you so much, Elina and Shelley. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. I have another card I can do.
You want to be sure to say.
And then do you want us to be looking at the camera, at the middle camera?
Middle camera is
Yeah, because it looks
Megan. Yeah, we'll do middle camera is Megan.
If you slash.
Can
Like
I
that was
arm
fine.
me here or no?
Yeah, like that's fine. Whatever. However you feel comfortable that way. But I meant to
Is
say
my
that.
knee showing?
Oh.
Perfect.